Klingons stopped using one trick against Starfleet after Star Trek VI. When Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country premiered in 1991, it closed the curtain on the original series crew while also reshaping Starfleet's relationship with its most notorious adversaries, the Klingons. The movie is remembered for its political intrigue, Shakespeare quoting villains, and the high-stakes assassination plot against the Klingon Chancellor. But there's one subtle tactical shift that came out of the film which changed Klingon Federation warfare forever. After Star Trek VI, Klingons stopped relying on one of their most dangerous tricks, the stealth dominance of cloaked ships, because Starfleet finally cracked the code. Cloaking devices, the Klingons' greatest advantage. For decades, cloaking technology was the trump card of the Klingon Empire and the Romulans before them. The ability to disappear into nothingness and stalk an enemy starship was a terrifying tactic. A Klingon bird of prey could decloak, unleash a devastating torpedo volley, and vanish again before a target could respond. This reliance on stealth created an atmosphere of paranoia within Starfleet. How do you fight an enemy you can't see? The Federation's technological morality, its refusal to employ cloaking devices under treaty agreements, only made the imbalance more severe. Throughout the original series and films, Klingons wielded cloaking devices not just as weapons, but as psychological tools. The unbeatable trick, firing while cloaked. The Undiscovered Country introduced the most dangerous evolution of the cloaking trick, General Chang's prototype bird of prey that could fire torpedoes while cloaked. Until then, the weakness of cloak tech was obvious. While invisible, Klingon ships couldn't attack without dropping their cloak and becoming vulnerable. Chang's warship eliminated that flaw, creating a nightmare scenario where the Enterprise A and Excelsior were hunted like prey. This ability shifted the balance of power in a way that threatened to make peace between the Klingons and Federation impossible. If such vessels were mass-produced, Starfleet would never stand a chance. How Starfleet beat the trick. Kirk, Spock, and McCoy turned the tables through creativity and desperation. By modifying a torpedo to home in on Chang's ship's exhaust signature, they proved that even an unbeatable cloaking trick wasn't perfect. The cloaked bird of prey was destroyed, saving the peace conference on Kittimer. This defeat revealed the fatal flaw in the Klingons' over-reliance on cloak tactics. Once the enemy understands your pattern, your advantage vanishes. Starfleet had learned how to track even the most advanced cloaked ship, and Klingons knew it. Why Klingons abandoned the trick? After Star Trek VI, cloaked ambushes became less central to Klingon strategy, at least against Starfleet. In universe, there are several reasons why. 1. Psychological impact gone. The Federation no longer feared cloaking devices in the same way. The Chang incident showed they could adapt, analyze, and counter even the most advanced stealth tricks. 2. Tactical risk. A ship relying too much on its cloak could be trapped or baited. The Enterprise's victory at Kittimer exposed the danger of putting all faith in invisibility. 3. Honor culture. Klingons always struggled with cloaking technology philosophically. Many warriors saw it as dishonorable to attack an enemy who couldn't see them. Chang's defeat symbolized this dishonor. He fought from the shadows and lost, while Kirk fought openly and triumphed. 4. Peace shift. The Kittimer Accords didn't eliminate military conflicts, but they redirected Klingon priorities. The cloak trick lost its strategic necessity once war with the Federation wasn't inevitable. The long-term legacy. By the 24th century Star Trek, The Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine, Klingons still used cloaked ships, but they weren't the unstoppable menace of old. Romulans had taken over the mantle of cloak masters, while Klingons leaned into brute force and warrior ethos. Starfleet, meanwhile, continued to refine sensors and tactics to detect cloaked ships, making the trick less effective with every encounter. In DS9, cloaks weren't even the centerpiece of Klingon combat anymore. Massive fleet battles, not stealth ambushes, defined their wars against the Dominion and even the Federation during brief hostilities. The cloak had become just another tool, not the decisive advantage it once was. Why this change mattered. Star Trek VI subtly retired one of the most overused, almost cheap narrative tricks in Star Trek storytelling. The endless game of cat and mouse with cloaked ships could have dragged on indefinitely, but by making Kirk and Spock outsmart Chang's impossible weapon, the film shifted Klingon identity. They could no longer be just sneaky predators hiding in the dark. They had to become warriors who fought in the open. This allowed later shows to evolve Klingon culture into something more nuanced. Instead of relying on the same old invisible ship gimmick, the franchise ultimate